Turn number 4, he's going to earn his first win in the Xfinity Series.
Wow, look at that. Ross Chastain, and driving for Chip Ganassi Racing, has won his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Las Vegas, sponsored by DC Solar. Ain't that good? And considering the fact that it was recently announced that he'd be going full-time, Xfinity Racing for Chip Ganassi, sponsored by DC Solar. It seems like nothing is going to get away from Chip Ganassi becoming a powerhouse team in the Xfinity Series. Certainly nothing can go wrong, right?
FBI, open up!
DC Solar, probably the sketchiest company to ever sponsor a NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series team in years. They bust on the scene out of nowhere, I want to say 2016, started sponsoring a bunch of races, as well as a few races and tracks. And with Ross Chastain getting them the first career win in the Xfinity Series, and Kyle Larson doing pretty good in the Cup Series, it was believed that DC Solar and Chip Ganassi will have to become a powerhouse organization, with Ross Chastain going full-time in the Xfinity Series, and Kyle Larson continuing to be consistent. However, that would all change out of nowhere.
They announced that the FBI, the scary FBI, raided the home of Jeff Karpoff, who is the CEO of DC Solar. Apparently seizing documents, they also went over to the DC Solar's main offices and did the same thing, so big deal, FBI and DC Solar, the company, having some issue there, I don't know. One report I read says it has something to do with a tax dispute. It's just money, big money, I don't know the story there.
Dollars and ran a fraud scheme that was fueled by new investors and federal tax loopholes. DC Solar manufactured, sold, and leased solar-powered electric generators and began sponsoring Chip Ganassi Racing and a few other teams in 2016. And by 2018, they were pretty much the exclusive sponsor of their Xfinity program. Ross Chastain had won for the team in a storybook scenario that put the humble watermelon farmer straight to the top of nearly every NASCAR fan's favorite list. Things looked good, and there were really no signs of any trouble until one night just before Christmas in 2018, the FBI raided the home of Jeff Karpoff, the owner of DC Solar, and the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy shortly thereafter. So what the hell happened? Well, of the 12,000 solar generators they had made, only about 3,000 to 5,000 of them were real. The other 7,000 or so supposedly had GPS locators on them, but then it turned out that those locators were just buried in random locations across California, making it appear as though they had been purchased and set up. Warren Buffett had poured over $300 million into the company, but had made decent returns, but only because DC Solar was funneling money from new investors to Buffett. There's a word for that, it's called a Ponzi scheme. You're not making any money, you're just shuffling it around to make it look like you're making money. At the time of the raid, they owed Chip Ganassi Racing nearly $4.5 million, and still needed to pay up millions of dollars to ISC-owned tracks. With no sponsorship dollars rolling in, CGR nixed their Xfinity program and cut Ross Chastain, who proceeded.
That's right, DC Solar, they weren't really a real company, because they produced fake solar panels, solar generators, and placed them everywhere to make it look like they were being leased, because they had tracking devices on them. And this basically ended DC Solar as they basically ceased operations. And to this day, I'm not sure if this is still happening, but I'm pretty sure there are still criminal investigations going on. And this was almost 3 years ago. And DC Solar did a lot in NASCAR. As you can see in this picture, they sponsored Kyle Larson in the Darlington throwback race. As you can see, that actually kind of ugly Davey Allison throwback. But what happened to Chip Ganassi? Well, things shut down. And Wanna know why? This is why.
It was announced that Chip Ganassi Racing would cease operations of its number 42 team in 2019. This comes months after the team announced plans to field the ride for prospect Ross Chastain, and the ride would be sponsored by DC Solar, a huge financial investor within the sport of NASCAR.
Okay, that was a waste of time, sorry. But the point is that thanks to that and a lack of, that basically left a gigantic lack of sponsorship for Chip Ganassi's Xfinity Series program. That basically meant that they had no sponsorship. I mean, yeah, sure, they probably could have won Credit One Bank into the Xfinity Series, but I don't think Credit One Bank had wanted anything to do with the Xfinity Series. Heck, they left Chip Ganassi Racing at the end of last season. So, basically, the only option there was for Chip Ganassi when it comes to the Xfinity Series was just to end the organization. But luckily, since then, and Ross Chastain, he's bounced back. He is now even racing for Chip Ganassi Racing's 42 car in the Cup Series. So, now the question is, why am I making this video? Well, because I wanted to think about the time, like, this is the most recent example of sketchy sponsors who sponsored a NASCAR team only to basically end the team and nearly, like, cut Ross Chastain's career. But luckily, Ross Chastain has bounced back and has won another Xfinity Series race, was in the hunt for the Truck Series title in 2019, and is now a Cup Series, he's not a rookie, but he's now races in the Cup Series, but he's not a rookie, sadly. So, but this is not the only instance. Like, there are several more instances. So, I'm gonna tell you, I recommend you guys to check out, Slapsheet's videos on the worst sponsors, team owners, and track promoters in NASCAR history. Links to those videos will be in the description, as well as links to every video I used to make this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.